Hey guys, today I'm at Apex HQ, aka the garage, enjoying another beautiful day here in sunny Michigan. Now, I was relaxing outside, trying to think of some new ideas for content to the channel, and a new idea came to mind that I'm going to introduce today. But before I get there, I want to kind of preface the introduction with the fact that the vehicles that we tend to surround ourselves with at our home, and as well as the vehicles that you guys are watching on the channel, tend to be vehicles that have a cult following or an enthusiast following. And most of you that came to the channel here originally came through this 4Runner. So I've done a couple videos on the truck, updates, and really answer as many questions as I can for you. And this is definitely a vehicle with that following. One that you guys haven't seen a video on yet is this Alfa Romeo Giulia TI Sport. This was purchased as more of a daily driver commuting back and forth to work. I have not done a video, but again, cult following. My fiance's vehicle is this 2019 Ram, which you guys have seen before. And in the barn is a 2008 Pontiac G8 GT, which is a vehicle that I've had a couple times now and definitely still has a cult following, whether it be in G8 form or in the Chevy SS. So all vehicles that have that following, and with that comes a strong vendor base where they're creating products for us that really fill a niche that we're asking for in Facebook groups, in forums, and things of the like. So you really get to see some cool products out there. Some of them, are trending where you see them on the boards, and there's really a lot of push for feedback and introductions from users like myself. And some of them are older products that have been around that maybe they haven't seen the, spotlight brought on that item to really say, hey, this really works well. And so what I'm going to introduce to the channel is really a product spotlight. So if there's a new product out there trending on the Facebook groups that I'm on for the 5th Gen 4Runner, for the Alfa Romeo, for the G8, anything like that, I'll be introducing it and bringing it to the channel and doing reviews on it so you guys can get firsthand feedback of the products and how they perform. And I'm really excited about that. If there's products that you guys want to see, leave them in a comment section below and I'll happily get it out there. But today, I'm going to start this with these new floor mats. So I had the factory 4Runner floor mats that come from Toyota, and they are the all-weather floor mats. And you'll see here they are rather flexible. They're just a normal rubber material, and they're kind of hard to clean. These little dimples are kind of a pain in the rear, and getting in these cracks is kind of a pain because they're so tight. It does have the brackets here for you to twist and lock into your vehicle. But I found that over the winter, I've now had this 4Runner almost 3 years now, and the salt would still get over these edges, which is obviously no good to get on your carpet. So I had to really watch that and keep it clean through the season. And there weren't really better floor mats out there that I liked. And I'll get into the WeatherTech and Husky feedback in a bit, because I know that's kind of the one that might come to mind when you guys are looking at floor mats. But on the Facebook groups, as well as in the forums, there was some good feedback coming on for these Oedro floor mats. Now, these are a little bit different than your WeatherTechs, but almost like in a middle ground. And you can buy these online, about $120, $135, depending on when you find them. But they're a different material. So the WeatherTechs, I really don't like, and I've had them before, and I'm not saying they're a poor product. I just don't like the material that they use. It's very rigid, so much so that I've seen vehicles that with these edges, it's such a hard plastic that it's actually scratching your sills. Or I've seen some where there's this is a painted sill, and it's actually scratched through the paint. So in some cases, it almost seems like it's doing more damage than good. So these are like a middle ground in terms of density. So this still flexes to a degree, but it's not nearly as flexible as these are. I mean, you can see these bend right over, and they don't cover as much as I would like. They do fine, and if that's okay with you and fine's okay, then that's great. but I found these to be great floor mats. Now, these are still new. I've only placed them in the vehicle once, but I want to show you guys really what they look like. This channel here is wide enough that I can use a brush and get them clean. And a little kind of unknown, or maybe known fact, but I find myself just using Armor All tire foam, just like this. I spray it on the mat, scrub it in with a little brush, just an all-purpose brush, and wipe it down, and the mats come just perfectly clean. So I did that with this passenger mat here, and you can see I was scrubbing in here, but I still had some dirt, and that's about as clean as it was going to come without getting, you know, a little OCD and going crazy with it. So I'll put these in the car so you guys can see exactly the coverage that we're talking about, but I just really like the design, and you'll see when these are in there, the molding is just exquisite. Everything fits just so. All right, guys, the new mats are in. Only took a couple minutes. Now, before we take a look at those, I want to display the old Toyota mats just to show you what they look like outside the vehicle and some of the weaknesses that I found. So as I mentioned, this edge, we got some salt and dirt that would release from the sill plate in, as well as back here you can see the driver's pedal actually cuts back, and the pedal was above the floor mat and it would drip down and go behind the mat. Passenger side cleaned up, still has a little dirt in there because of those ribs being a pain in the rear to clean. In the back seat, not a lot of use here. We don't have kids, but if you do have kids and you know they're dropping Cheetos and Pop-Tarts and whatever else, you know, I don't think the coverage was really adequate enough from Toyota for, you know, someone that's using that back seat on a regular basis. So this corner here does not go over the sill plate, so you do have possible salt introduction there. It is ribbed throughout the whole, you know, the whole mat, which is good for channeling the salt and stuff, but it's also a bugger to clean, so I wish the spacing was a bit wider. And as you guys saw already, they're pretty flexible mats, so they can form nicely, but they're still pretty, almost too flexible in some cases. So taking a look at the front seat here, you can see the coverage on these stock mat or on these new mats. And taking a look at the gas pedal, you'll see that that is not cut down, and the gas pedal is above the mat. So any salt, anything that goes off my shoe onto the pedal will drip onto the mat and down to that channeling. So really a nice design there, and got rid of that whole salt introduction point. And then looking here, you can see it covers the sill plate, and this is soft enough. I could rub my finger along this all day and not cut myself. One design element I'm a big fan of as well is this corner here. It does not cut down and instead curves in nicely. And one thing that you guys can probably note here is the fact that there's no raised edges. So look at that carpet. It sits perfectly on it, right along with those plastic pieces. Just overall, it sits nicely. So that's where that density comes into play that other competitors may have a challenge is that it lifts because it doesn't want to flex at all. Adding my light here just so you guys can see, the mats are completely black. The light does kind of make them appear a little gray, but this really helps you guys see the lines. So on this corner, you can see it goes right over that sill plate again. So as kids get in, you know, this is really a design element that I really like about the 4Runner, is this is a plastic corner piece, and then you have a plastic sill plate covering. So the only piece of paint that you have is this one strip right here. So it's really hard for anyone to get in and really damage your paint. But you're further protected with these mats going over that edge. Looking along the front, under the seat, so as the kids put their feet ahead, you can see that, and there is a lip at the front to really protect you, or protect the carpet from any, you know, excess water or salt going over. It sits perfectly up against the center console, and going along the other side, you can see it's duplicated. And if you guys really look, you can see the work they put in here, and the whatever tool they use to really measure this floor space just did an exceptional job, because you can see all the pieces, the carpet lines, the plastic pieces, it conforms around them very nicely. All right, and looking at the passenger side here, you can see kind of how it looks without the light. And again, good coverage along this edge. Looking up along into the back. So there are nice lips here to keep water in with whatever comes in. and then I'll peel this off for anybody that likes to hear that sound. And it does come with a owner's manual, you know, with some details and a spare replacement piece here, because this does clip in with the standard Toyota mounts, just like that. So pretty easy to use, you know. And I'm going to use these mats as a all-season mat. I don't know if you guys have ever seen my little guy here. This monkey has ridden in this 4Runner since probably, I think I got it when it had about 1,000 miles on the 4Runner, and it has literally ridden here in the 4Runner for 40,000 miles now, just as my little co-pilot going on adventures with us. So, formal introduction to the channel. You guys can name him. I don't have a name for him, so I don't know. I just call the 4Runner Yoda. The 4Runner Yoda. So, Yota, not Yoda either. But in any case, you know, I'm really happy. I'm going to use these as a all-season mat. I don't really like worrying about anything damaging the carpet or anything like that. You know, carpeted floor mats look nice and stuff, but for what I use the 4Runner for, it's just not practical. You know, we do have the side-by-side, so when we're coming in from using that, our feet are always muddy, and these just have that coverage that I was looking for. And they were only 130 bucks. So it's like half of what you would spend on a set of WeatherTechs or Huskies, and the quality is just better. I mean, it's better. It's not on par. I'm happier with these than I am with those. So, you know, some people are diehard loyalists. They don't want to flex and go to different brands, and that's their decision. But if you guys are looking for like really good, high quality mats, I think you'd be silly not to go with these ones. You know, they're on Amazon, they're on a few other sources, but you just can't go wrong. If you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments section below. I'll leave a link to them in the description box. If you guys want to use that link, that would help me out. If you guys use that link and, you know, found this video helpful enough and want to help support the channel. All right, guys, if you guys have any other products that you want to see introduced for the 4Runner, for the Julia, for the Ram, for the G8, just let me know. And assuming it's not some supercharger or something like that that's super expensive, you know, maybe I'll purchase it and give you guys some feedback on that item if you're truly interested. So you guys take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and stay safe.